So here is...
Are you going to put the music in afterwards?
Yeah. Day in the life.
Okay, day in the life of...
So this is when you lived in Polperro.
Okay, so little backstory. We lived in Polperro for 3 months, in between moving from London to Brighton. At the time, I had a writing job. So
what were you writing for? People might
I was writing for Anna Quillian and Katie Wicks's sketch show, Channel 4 sketch show, and a Radio 4 show I was writing. So every morning I'd wake up. We all know this, there's one bedroom in this little cottage.
Okay, I'm trying to think when to start the music. So this is. So I'd like you to describe the best day. What would have been the best day?
I'll give you a very normal day because they were all wonderful.
Okay, so this is a day in the life of Polperro Joe.
I would wake up at about 6:30 in the morning. Petra would still be asleep.
Would you hear gulls?
I would hear gulls. I'd look out the window and I'd be, bloody hell, I'm in Polperro.
Right, so I've stayed in that cottage.
You cannot see the bay, but...
No, you can't, because there's a...
What I would do every morning, I would get a drink, and I would...
Coke.
A Coke Zero. A Coke Zero. Little can of Coke Zero.
This could go on for half hour. I think this might have to be a standalone episode.
No, because I'm going to run out of juice.
No, you're not.
I would get myself a little Coke Zero.
So what time would this be?
This would be about 7:15. So
where would you get it from? Oh, from the fridge?
From the fridge. It had a fridge.
But describe the cottage, because the cottages are tiny, aren't they?
So it was like 1.5 bedrooms upstairs, but the other bedroom had a lot of our stuff in it, so it was just a bedroom upstairs, and you go downstairs and it was like a tiny kitchen and a lounge, and that was it. And it was...
Yes.
I
watched the all series of Him and Her in that lounge.
Did you?
Yeah.
How weird. That's burst my bubble a bit. I was getting quite into the romantic side of it, and then I imagine you just slumped on the sofa watching telly.
Yeah.
Do you mind leaving my thoughts? Anyway, so go down into the little lounge.
They're really small, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and
cottages.
the whole time I'd have to be hunched because of the very low ceilings. And I know for the first couple of weeks I would donk my head at least sort of twice a day, but at this point I'm naturally dunking at the right points.
It's a shame you're not going to make a cup of tea on the hob. You're actually just going to get a
opening a morning Coke Zero.
Yeah.
I'd decant it into a cup so it looked like I was drinking coffee.
Yeah. What month of the year is this?
This is probably February.
So it's still dark outside.
It's starting to come up at this point, and I'd walk down the little... So you come out the door is right onto a path, and it's one of those wonderful doors, that what they call it, where the top bit and the bottom bit open.
Yeah, not a barn door. Was it a stable door?
Stable door thing.
Yeah.
Well, oh, fuck. Right, anyway.
Yeah.
And I'd go out and I'd walk down.
So these little lanes, they're so cute, aren't they?
You could almost touch either side, each house, with your arms out, basically. So that's the thickness of the path. And I'd walk down, and there'd be about 20, 30 yards down. There's the first gap between the houses where you could see the bay.
Yes.
And I would look at the bay while I drank my Coke Zero.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you just lean on the wall?
I would, and I sort of... If I'm totally honest, I think I played a bit of a role. Do you know what I mean? I sort of... I played a romantic thinker in that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's weird just to take in a view or whatever. So I think
right. So I went to the Blue Peter Inn with my boy off the walk.
Fifth time the Blue Peter Inn.
Yeah, but we had to sit outside in like a smoking area.
Oh yeah, the little benches,
little triangle.
bit.
Yeah,
I love
we
that
waited
bit.
for the tables, and these two guys came out, absolutely locals. One had silver hair with a heavy fringe and long hair, like brown leathery skin.
Gorgeous.
Like lovely shock of silver hair, little belly on him, nice little gold ring.
Did he bend
nice
over?
Fingers. Surprisingly up-to-date modern trainers, but just looked like he lived a life. Definitely a local, and him and his mate, who I think was a gardener, he had like these cargo shorts on.
You can just tell, yeah.
Yeah, and they stood next to one another. The guy with this lovely shock of hair had a roll up, and they were just looking up at the sky, at the birds, and they were going, look, those two are going off there now, aren't they? It was so lovely. And I looked up at the skies, went, I can't see him, but then I heard him say, you know that house up there? Oh yeah, I sat in their drive not so long ago. Very serene, very serene. That house on the hill, very serene. But they had their own little stall at the end of the bar.
Oh, flip! I probably know them.
I was so envious of his simple little life. Well, anyway, the life that I created in my head.
Well, fun enough, if we're talking about the Blue Peter Inn, our friends had a place where we went in the Blue Peter Inn and they were always stood. One would be stood so you come in the bar and there's like the left where the stairs are up to the other bit. Sort of, there's a kind of cove under it.
Yeah, I sat in the cove.
Yeah, so they were stood, one would be stood there, the other would be sat there every time.
So did these friends live in Polperro?
They lived in the cottage next to where you stayed.
And when did they move down to?
Well, maybe like 8 years before we were there. So they've been there.
From London they moved down?
No, they were one was from up north, the other from, I think, from that area. But
shit. And loved it there.
Yeah, and but they sort of worked all over, but would always come back. And they've got a little camper van they call Dolly, and they're always working on it. And then they have little adventures around Cornwall in it. They should be doing a podcast, a travel podcast.
No, they shouldn't. We should be doing their podcast.
I live my best life, as they say, through their Facebook.
Why don't you live that life?
Well, for a start, I'm always when the tinkering on the van thing looks amazing. It would piss me off.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to you. I'm going to bring the music back in here. You're leaning on the wall, thinking. What are you thinking?
Well, I always look. Well, what I actually did, but it would always surprise me. I never knew if the tide, because the bay, the water would be either up or down, and I would never know if it would be. So I'd always go, "Oh, it's up."
So, can you paint a picture of what you'd see as you leant on the wall?
Okay, so this morning, the water is up. So there's little boats bobbing about, and do you know what I actually do?
You're near the bridge, aren't you?
The bridge. I would be. I'd be near I'm halfway from the cottage to the little bridge. I'll tell you what I'd always do, if I'm honest, because I couldn't turn this off. I'd always look at the house with the garden next to where I was staying, and I'd go, if I could buy any of the cottages in Polperro, I'd buy that one. And then I'd be like, because it's had a garden right on the bay.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
And I'd always go, and I'd fantasize. I'd fantasize about living there.
Yeah, and then you'd buy that and look up at the hill. If I could have any house on that hill.
Onwards and onwards. And 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 then I'd at least one person would walk past with a small dog.
Yeah, so what's it like at 7:30 in the morning?
It's really, really quiet.
God, it must be so quiet.
Also, what you get to watch is the fish, the fish place opposite. Still a working fish.
Yeah. Oh.
So you watch some people there kind of in white wellies sort of doing stuff. And so that's kind of maybe coming to the end of their shift.
God. So they've been out all night or for a few days?
I think the fish was being prepared to go off and will be chucked in lorries to be driven all over the country.
God, I can imagine how quiet that little.
Oh, really quiet. But there's always like people. I know it's like, but it was the best moment every day because it would be a couple of people up early. Always a woman in her 60s with a dog. Always morning, and we whispered. Just remembered morning. No one said the loud morning. It'd be morning, morning. Because I guess there's like all the houses are really close to each other and there's windows everywhere. So no one shouts morning. So a little quiet whisper, morning. And then I'd go back to the cottage. And then
with sticky teeth.
No, with the high from the Cokie, the Cokie Z.
Sticky Cokie teeth.
I want to finish it or I'll save some for later.
When you get your quill out.
I am about to get my quill out. On the way back, I always would have a look in the window. Never got bored of looking.
Why would you go? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Why would I go down and do that?
Yeah,
because you couldn't see the sea from the cottage.
Yeah, of course.
Because the cottage where we were
directly behind it. Yeah.
So you never could see the sea. So then I walk back up, come in, and then this is where it gets a little bit weird. I had because there's only the. I used to work in the bedroom. I bought a little camping table and it was sat by the window in the corner. Do you remember? We'd take.
Is that as you go up the stairs? Is that the bedroom to the right?
Yeah, the big one. There's a big one and a little one.
Oh right, I don't know which one I stayed in.
You would have stayed in the big
bed.
one. Yeah, but we took the base off the bed because it wasn't. I don't know if you remember. It wasn't a very big bed. So we took the base out from under the bed and put the mattress on.
More bed base.
And this is for the bed base guy. David's bed base guy. Yes, that's from both of us. So we put the mattress on the floor. So we put because it was a small mattress, so it gave you a little bit more. So you didn't fall off the bed. You could.
So where did you write in the other room?
No, wrote in because the bed base was in the other room, which was tiny.
Oh, so you had to write when Petra was sleeping?
I had to silently write in the corner.
Why didn't you just go downstairs?
Because it was bloody freezing down there.
All right, don't ruin the...
Oh, because it was more...
Right, why was it freezing?
Because you remember that cottage hadn't been updated in like 60 years. You must remember it was like... Did you only go in the summer?
Yes, we did. We went in August. Right. So what heating was it? Was it log fire?
Yeah. But I think...
Yeah.
And like gas radiator. Electric radiator.
So I watched on YouTube last night some 2 or 3 storms from the 2000s, and it flooded in 2004, I think, and it's like a foot deep all the way around those little streets.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I was imagining being in those cottages.
Then all those cottages were flooded. They would have been because they were all. I played 5-a-side in the rain last night. It really came down last night, and it was fucking brilliant. Anyway, but yeah, then it will be flooded. Anyway, I think maybe I would write down for sometimes I'd write downstairs, but then Petra would come down, and then I'd write upstairs.
Did you have a view?
The view
Writing
from the
upstairs?
window was kind of not really, but you could watch people walk past, which was wonderful.
Including who?
Including Richard Madeley.
Richard Madeley.
Every morning, Richard
Would
Madeley.
he really walk by every morning?
Every morning, he would. Yeah, if he not every morning because he put.
So
I guess
he had
would,
a house just round the corner.
Yeah, so he would walk from his house into the village to buy a paper, and also one of the things that Richard Madeley do, our neighbours who we're still friends with, have this weird gargoyle thing outside the stone gargoyle, and once a week or once a fortnight, maybe once a month, he'd do something stupid to the gargoyle, like put a hat on it or put like a pipe in its hand or something, and had a little ongoing little game with our neighbours, which is quite sweet.
Oh, that is sweet.
And then
Can we get Richard Madeley on here to talk about Polperro?
yeah, probably could.
So how did you feel living in this cottage?
Magical. Like I never ever felt normal. I sort of wanted people to know. I was like, it's like when I used to walk across Clifton Suspension Bridge. Like I used to have this thought. I'd be like, I used to live in this place, and now, I grew up on this road, and now I'm walking across Clifton Suspension Bridge. I used to think that every time I walked across, and I used to go, imagine if people could see me now. Genuinely, that's how low my expectations of life were. If people could see
I don't
me,
want to pop the Polperro bubble, but could you live
you
there?
are really going off. Yeah, I could have done.
Okay, but
Yeah.
could you?
Yeah.
Could you really sell up where you are?
Like if I had such a lovely time there,
What would be the tricky moments down there? Do you think?
it is so far away from.
It's not though. You're 20
Well-
minutes from Plymouth. It's not so far away. I'm
From
55
what I know,
minutes from
from
here.
what I know, from what I know,
Okay.
from like
But you've got a big city just up the road. I remembered it being a long way away, and I was like, I'm home in 55 minutes.
yeah, that is nuts. Well, that's what it felt like at the time. That's why we'd not left because we're never going to live there forever. But I was going, I could do this. And also, this is a very typical way for it to go. But I remember looking at the little houses, and you get like one of those 2-bed little cottages for about 120 grand.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. I know exactly how much they are now. Absolutely gutted.
And do you know what? I love those places on the hill. I'd want to be right in the heart of it.
Me too. Yeah, I would. And I'd have one, as I said, with a garden on the bay thing. And I'd have a boat that I would little bob around on, that I'd get in and out of my own jetty.
So I took my 2 younger boys to Polperro about a year ago, and we stayed in the cafe near the museum.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
well. No, well. Yes, continue.
And we were sat on the little patio area having a lunch, and these 2 guys, I might have said this, but these 2 guys were in the distance on the Polperro side, the jetty side. The jetty? So the jetty side, they climbed down these steps, they got into a rowing boat,
Oh,
they rowed over from Blue Peter, they parked up just below us, came up the steps and had some lunch, got back in the boat and rowed back.
totally pointless.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
they could have, but I was like,
Lovely. If you got a boat.
lovely.
Friends have a little boat, and they just take it out and just go out for an hour, just finish work and bob about.
What, out the harbour?
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, yeah. Just bob about in their little boat. This is the bit. This is the bit you'll love. I kind of want to show you a photo. I'm sure it's fine. I won't show it to anyone else. But this is the best bit. This is nuts. They have an allotment, right? It's on. So, okay, come out the cottage. should I say this? Anyway, they don't know where the cottage is, do they? People don't know. They were there. And anyway, they come at the cottage and you go up the hill.
Yeah.
And you just keep walking and you come into...
You do a left out the cottage.
Yeah, and it becomes fields and stuff. You then, there's a fence and a little gate, and you turn, go through this little gate, and you go down, and then you come out onto this open bit of land, and it's on the cliff edge. And their allotment is... So they're looking at just... They've got trees all the way around them, so no one else can see them. And they've got just the sea there.
And that comes with the property?
No,
Does it come with the property?
No, they just hire it for like £40 a year or whatever. I'll see if I can find... Honestly, I think we went to it and they've got little sheds and stuff, and it's like they go camping there, basically. Yeah, look. Look, I'm just going to send you this picture. I'm sure they won't mind. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Not for the listener, I'm sure, but look at this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's the edge of their life.
Fuck.
Isn't that insane?
Oh, my God.
And they just go there. They sort of camp there at night and stuff.
And one thing you said about living down there is that you forget that there's like London and the rest of the...
Completely. You just go, yeah. Your world becomes smaller, obviously, but then you sort of go, don't care. Don't care about that stuff. It's sort of it's sort of weird. I remember going into London because we were there like for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I had to go to London, and I remember getting out the train and suddenly being on Oxford Street and going, I was by the bay 5 hours ago, and now I'm in like the busiest road in the UK, and I was like, no, and I was going, no one knows that just 6 hours ago I was having a Cokie Z.
Yeah, leaning on the bridge wall.
Dramatically leaning.
Looking at the white Wellington booted fisherman.
Thinking that looks like a hard job. Yeah. Yeah.
Where's Petra in all this? How's she feeling?
Petra?
Polperro.
Petra is feeling quite claustrophobic. She is repeatedly telling me she could never live here. No, she loved it. But she didn't want to stay because
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. Yeah.
But it was really nice because I'd work till like 1:30, maybe 2. But while I was doing it, she'd not make me
mentally exhausted from all your comedy thoughts.
little nuggets popping into my brain.
Yeah. So you'd finish, 1:30, 2.
But Petra would like bring me like lunch and stuff because the idea was that I'd work through lunch, like not have a lunch, just get the stuff done, so we could go on an adventure in the afternoon. So I'd be little treats would come up, and I'd be like, "Oh, you got nice salami. Where'd you get that?" The shop said we'd have like we'd discuss that the shop has nice salami because it's quite a small shop.
Honestly, it's just when I'm there, I just feel like this is Postman Pat's village. That's why I love it so much. I just want to be him.
But the shop, but also the main worry about living in Polperro was making sure you had all your bits before the shop shut at 3. So
I'll be organised each week and go to Plymouth.
Do a big shop in Liscard.
When we filmed Brian and Charles in Betsy Coed, one of the drivers said he lived somewhere near there. He said, we have to do our big shot once every 2 weeks because it's an hour and a half drive.
what going to the big Morrison's.
Where was that? In Lou?
No, it was Liskeard, I think.
Oh.
Was kind of fun. Because it was like, we were like, it was, you know, when you go abroad and you go, oh, let's try some of their chocolate, their sort of foreign chocolate. It was like, because the shop would have limited reason, and you could go, God, we can get anything. So we go, should we get French bread? Should we get some French bread?
Yes.
And stuff like that. So it was like,
right, sorry, I'm just having a look at Polperro to Liskeard. It's 28 minute drive, says it.
28-minute drive. But we also would have, wow, sorry, just look at this. Oh my God, sorry, I accidentally clicked on their photo of the bay in the winter. I'll send you in a minute. But we have to, because no cars can get down to Polperro. I found that out the hard way. Got the car jammed down in Polperro. So the first 10 minutes is walking up to get your car
in those garages.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I know,
it's
but
quite
like
nice,
that's something you just get used to. So you go. So it was 40 minutes to Morrison's in Liskeard. But that's like driving to Gatwick to get my shop. You go, that's too far. But that was a little event.
This episode is going to win us a podcast award. And the winner of the 2022 British Podcast Award episode goes to Chatterbix and A Day in the Life of Polperro Joe.
And everyone sort of knows it's coming. Do you know what I mean? It's like Fleabag. It's like Fleabag winning the BAFTA. Everyone sort of knew it was coming. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thanks everyone. Oh God.
Oh no, I want to thank David for.
Yeah. Oh fucking hell. Oh, yeah. No, thanks everyone, and thanks John and Lizzie at Acast, and Petro does a lot of the background work, and Naomi, and yeah, just thanks everyone, and fuck off. Yeah, you fuck off, mate.
Is that Rob Beckett?
Rob Beckett.
Rob Beckett does like Kevin Bishop, at the Comedy Awards. That's luzzing fruit at us or whatever. But it's fun. It's good gesture because they've won everything else.
Yeah. That's the end of the honk.
You did your own honk there. You did more work for you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chant of that, but we just bleeped out. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that turns sour very quickly.
The podcast awards.
Okay, so Petra's come upstairs and said what's in the shop and what we're gonna have, well, what bits we've got, and we probably would have gone, have you got wine?
Yeah,
because it's such a nice place to drink wine. And so then we'd go, right, you finished? And I'll go, yeah, finished. And then we'd sort of have a little sit down in the lounge and moan at people staring in as they walk past.
Yeah. Is that a propo?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, you think of that cottage because the ground level was just the lounge, and they're quite dark anyway. So if you shut the curtains to stop people looking in, it's pitch black because the back of the cottage is a cliff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's no back windows, there's little windows at the front, and people walk past, including myself.
Yeah.
And look in, including you.
We walked past the Three Pilchards Inn.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, God, there's so
and
many.
there is it's obviously not an Airbnb, but a letting, whatever it is, a holiday cottage. Sorry, and it faces directly out onto the harbour, where everyone's milling around, and there was a family in there with the door open and the window, and they were just watching TV, obviously on holiday.
Yeah.
We just walked past. It's so weird.
Well, interesting you say that. We would sit there with the top part of the door open, doing whatever we would do.
You would,
and you
you?
have to.
Yeah.
And you get used to the point where you go, people are going to look at us.
Yeah.
And you just go...
You probably didn't mind that, did you?
Wow.
Now it's my turn.
Now it's my turn.
Open the stable door, please, Petra. I'm feeling rather fruity. Now it's my turn.
I'll give him something to remember.
Did you have a little bit of, yes, I live here?
Yes, 100%. I could feel
I'm just milling about. I just live here.
I could feel the side of my face, that side of my face being a little bit up, like that.
Where do you want the morning? Where do you want the?
Yeah. I'm going to get the freshly churned butter from the fridge.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to fucking Liscard to go to Morrison's. Oh, you're on holiday? Oh, I live here.
I'll be honest with you, it's just a slower pace of life. You get used to it. Yeah, 100%. I imagined what they went away thinking. God, does he live here?
I have that in down here when we go to the beach. Yeah, with the holiday makers. When we drive down the lanes, I can spot the because they're all driving big cars.
Yeah,
and
you're in the bomber.
Good luck, buddy, going back to Epsom.
I'm a stone's throw from here myself. But that's the choice we made. We had the guts to get off our asses. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, I really did think that. I'd be like, yeah.
Do you know how many times me and Naomi do it? We do it a lot when we went for a walk by the River Dart the other night and then went to the beach. We go, do you know, a couple of years ago we would have said, oh, we're going home tomorrow. Oh, I don't want to go home.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Yeah, but now
we are home.
Listen, we are home.
Yeah.
Twats. You fucking twats.
So, I know I would be.
Yeah. No, we're going home no, we're not. We are home.
Do you know what I've said in the past? Do you know what sometimes... Oh, I hate myself for this one. Do you know what sometimes it's sort of pointless going on holiday when you live somewhere like this?
Oh, I said that all the time. Yeah, anyway, so where are we at? So you're sort of noticing people looking in and enjoying being looked at.
And then we'd go, what do you want to do this afternoon? And we go, don't know, where'd you fancy going? And then we go, and then this is what we did one day. That's one I'm going to use. There was a show, oh fuck, what's the little town? Where they basically followed all the people in the village, the fishermen in the village. I can't remember what it's called.
What, is it a big town? I've got Foy.
It began with a C, I'm pretty sure.
God, you're really close to Foy as well there.
Yeah, I loved Foy.
There's Lou, Polperro, Pellant.
No, I'm going to have a look. Sorry, map of Cornwall. But basically, there was this place,
Mevagissey,
in Cornwall where they basically filmed. Where was it? It was about an hour away.
Not Corzand.
Maybe.
Not the tiny little village.
Yeah.
Corzand.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, where it's just basically.
It's like Polperro.
Yeah, but smaller.
But smaller.
Yeah, and it's a really steep hill down into it.
I did a gig near there, but Henry Widdicombe booked my gig round there, and then I went to Corzand. I think it's Corzand.
And there used to be a show about the fishermen of that village. Google it. And so we were like, should we go down there and have a look at where they filmed that? And so we drove down there, and it was like on a Tuesday afternoon, and we saw all the fishermen that we'd seen on the programme, and we were like, there's one.
Oh,
really? My God, he's the one who's always having fish pie or whatever. And they were just still being fishermen, obviously. It was not like Love Island or something. And we just spotted them and just sat
Don't
there.
just be a fisherman.
And we were like, and it was like, look, that's where they drag the boats.
and Corzand, that's it. Yeah.
What's the show called where they watch fishermen? And we went down and we watched. We went down there and just watched fishermen be fishermen, and we recognised them and we had our photos taken next to some of the boats that go out. We went and had selfies with the boats from the. It was bloody brilliant. And then a woman was pushing a pram up the hill, and I said, "Oh, do you want a hand?" She said, "No, I'm fine." She lived there, and I watched her push this pram up the hill, and it was above her head. It was so steep, and she obviously does it every day. And I was like, "Fucking hell, that's mental." But it was so.
So there's a place, if you look on the map near Corzand, called Millbrook, and Millbrook is where Henry Widdicombe booked one of my tour dates. I think I've told you this. So I drove, I think I gigged in Wales, and I drove down to Cornwall so it's through Plymouth, and then you do a left into that little dog leg, and I drove along the cliff's edge. It was fucking beautiful, but I was going, where the fuck is this gig? There was nothing around. Like, it's really stunning. So driving on the cliff's edge, and I came up this hill bit, and on the right, my sat nav took me to this unmade road. Genuinely, like, there's just hills everywhere. I was, where am I? And there is this was it hold up? Anyways, it's kind of like a derelict building with some sheds, and turns out that I think a load of people have moved down from London, and they all live in Millbrook now. They've sort of fuck careers. They all live in Millbrook now. And I did this gig there. I had to support this reggae band, and all these sort of rastas turned up. About 200 people, but all these locals came out of the woodwork.
Oh no!
It was a packed gig, but they all live in this little community called Millbrook, which is just near Corzand. Yeah, just these young families, and so lovely.
Amazing.
I spoke to one guy, and he went, I jacked it all in, fuck it. So lovely. Yeah.
The weird one for me was, one of the weird things for me, which really, not burst the bubble, because, talk about being away from everything, and that included sort of comedy and stuff like that. And like a week and a half before we were leaving, there's this sort of working men's club up in the hill, and I really wanted.
Oh, in Polperro.
Yeah,
I saw it.
So I went up there to watch the football, because it's the only place that had the football on. It was really different to the rest of Polperro.
Completely.
I was like, that's weird. And I was up there, and I was just having a pint and watching the football. I looked to my right, and it said Edinburgh previews in here, in 2 weeks' time. And it was Pappy's Fun Club, or Pappy's, who obviously Matt, Ben and Tom. And I was sat there having a pint, and their three faces were on a poster literally to my right. And I was like, well, that's fucking weird. I am 400 miles from anything, near my old life.
Why would you do a preview in Polperro?
Don't know. I think it was them and, I don't know, like Ben Norris or someone.
Wow.
I was like,
Pappy's preview in Polperro. Try saying that with your teeth in. Or your teeth out.
Lovely bit of food. So I was, but they were. I was like, well, obviously I was going to watch it, but we were leaving. And I was like, what a shame, because I'd have loved to have not told them, and just turned up and gone, all right.
Yeah.
But
so on this afternoon, where did you go again? Oh, you went to Corzand.
Yeah, but also went to Mouse Hole and places like that, and
Mouse
and just
Mouse Hole.
Mouse Hole. It's Mouse Hole. And
so you come back. You've had a lovely afternoon.
Yeah, and we would. And do you know what would happen? If I'm honest, there'd be a little bottle of wine opened. We'd have a little glass of wine. Yeah. And then we would go, should we cook the stuff we bought from the shop and talked about all day? Or should we go to the Blue Peter? And then we get we'd text Vicky or Maxine and go, "What are you doing tonight?" And they'd always pretty much say, "We're currently in the Blue Peter." So, and we'd go, "Shall we?" "Yeah, go on."
Right. So in my head, I've got Polperro's.
It's cold, remember, as well, so it's lovely.
Yeah. So it's now evening.
So it's dark. It's dark about 5. This is only probably about 5:30, maybe 6.
The orange lights in the Blue Peter are twinkling.
Yeah, it's all sort of, and it's always been a little bit foggy, a little bit kind of.
But tonight it's extra foggy.
Yeah, it's super foggy. And so what we'd do, we'd go,
what did that feel
come
like?
on, yeah. So we'd get our coats on. We'd be like really excited. And you turn right and you walk down, and the whole walk round the bay, you can see the twinkly lights of the Blue Peter Inn. So you walk round.
Did you pass anyone?
Usually, there was a woman who would always say, "You can walk the dog tomorrow if you like," because I'd really liked her dog, and I go, "Yeah, I'll definitely do that," and I would like once a week walk her dog for her, and I'd wave at her, and there'd always people be sort of about at that time. Weirdly, don't know why. Sometimes the quad bike would be in the way, the little quad.
The quad bike that picks up all the suitcases and
helps people get in and out of the town. So you'd have to squeeze past the quad bike, and then go down past the woman and say, "I'll walk her dog tomorrow," over the little bridge. Still looking.
That's when you can see the harbour and.
Well, that's when you can see the full. But you can see the Blue Peter in between the houses occasionally. I'd literally be looking at it the whole time. Then over the little bridge.
Would you hear merriment coming from the Blue Peter?
Yes, 100%. It was like a siren. Pulling us over there.
Yeah.
And then we'd walk over the little bridge through the little town bit, and then turn left and walk down the side of the fish place. And that would be empty, but I'd look in there. But I'd be a little bit scared to go in, because I think someone might say, "You're not allowed in." So I never went in.
Without white rubber boots.
Why white? Walk along to the left of the fish place, by the edge of the bay. Quite a big drop at this point. But I'd always think, can't get too pissed, because could fall in. Never did.
Yeah.
Then walk along the side, past the other pub, which we never really went in.
That's at Three Pilchards, isn't it?
That might be in the Three Pilchards, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Past the little house which was sort of like a point, tiny little house.
That might be the cottage I was talking about.
That's mental, that one, to live there. But amazing if no one walked past it. And then up towards the Blue Peter Inn. Walk past it, don't you? Now it's above you to the right. You're looking above, and you can see some people. You can see some people sat in the place you secretly hoped you'd sit.
In the window seat.
In the window seat. But someone there. But anyway, walk round. You sort of have a little bit. Oh, fuck, someone's sat there. God, it's only fucking 5:30. What time they've been there till? So she's always pissed, isn't she? Anyway, a little bitch.
Don't bitch. Keep it nice.
Okay, we're holding hands at this point as well.
Yeah.
And then up round the side, up the little steps, the little concrete steps, up into the first bit where we said the smoking area, which I like to call the front of the ship. Because, it looks like the front of a ship. Look, a couple of people sat there, "Hiya," and they know us, we've been in there a lot. Fuck. Hiya. Then in the little doorway bit, and then hit by the warmth and the friendliness of the Blue Peter Inn. And then weirdly, the table in the window's been freed up. Sit ourselves down there. Turn around. There's Vicky and Maxine. Hiya, and then they join us. Get the drinks in, and then then it's like, what are you going to have to eat? Oh my God. The food in that place.
I had fish and chips.
Do you ever have the pie?
I probably have, but
I got stuck into a routine of either having the pie or the scampi. And Petra would say, have something different. Yeah, but big.
Like fish and chips was £9.
But big old portions as well. Big old portions. And when you're having it 4 times a week and you're not exercising.
Who cares? If
Exactly. And also our friends had little dogs as well, so that was nice. So you'd have little dogs with you, big old meal, little pint, Petra a little rosé. And we're going to head off. Have another one. Oh yeah, go on.
Would it get busy in there?
In the winter, it was perfect busy.
Oh, God.
Not like anyone's in your way.
So I'm booking 2 or 3 nights in Polperro in January with me and Naomi because I just want to experience the...
Oh, in the winter?
Yeah, I want to know what it's like in the winter.
You'll love it. I think it's better.
Yeah.
Because you've got that... I'll tell you the truth. Because it gets dark, you go, might as well just stay in or go to the pub. Nothing else we can do. And that is fantastic. Should we stay in? Or go to them? And you just always go to the Privator.
Well, when we walked back to the car, we'd had a couple of ciders. And my boy said he was feeling a bit fruity. And on the way back to the car, and the church on the left-hand side.
Are you walking up the hill?
Walking up the hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They had fishermen singing, a choir of fishermen singing live. We went in there and had a little look, and there was a little audience that formed to watch them.
I heard the men singing as they go underground, and no one will ever move me from this land until the Lord calls me to sit at his hand. For this is my Eden, and I'm not alone. For this is my...
Do you know what I'd love? What I want to hear one day, soon, is someone tweets me and goes, loads of people wearing Chatterbix t-shirts in Polperro today. Just like, if you do a drone shot.
Yeah, all the choir. Oh, little Chatterbix, Chatterbix. The daily morning pond. Daily morning pond.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming on the pod. Get the Polperro choir on the pod.
Richard Madeley's with us. Oh, what a lovely little...
That was fun.
That was the end of the award-winning episode.
And I thought you were going to say, and that is how you pod.
And that is how you pod.
Cut to... I love the idea of you saying... it's gone down like 84% listeners from the Polperro.
Oh, don't like the fucking Polperro one, mate. Yeah, well, screw you, buddy. Because Mevagissy's just round the corner. We got Mevagissy coming up. We got Mauser. We got Penzance. We got Falmouth.
And I'll tell you why. Because I was born here, and here I shall die. And no one will ever move me from this land until the Lord calls me to sit at his hand. For this is my Eden, and I'm not alone. For this is my Cornwall, and this is my home. For this is my Cornwall, and this is my